Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. A private graveside service for Maxine Parrish, age 88, of Sylacauga, will be Saturday. And Ms. Maxine was a member of the First Assembly of God Church for a long, long time in Sylacauga. She passed away May the 19th at her residence. Online condolences to CurtisandSonFH.com, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. My buddy Cisco King will be the minister for that service. And if anybody knows Miss Maxine, Cisco does. He's married to one of Maxine's daughters, Debbie. So look forward to seeing them tomorrow here in Sylacauga, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, directing that service. Richard Christian, age 40, died May the 20th, Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, announcing. Robert Johnson, age 61, died May the 20th as well, Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, announcing those arrangements. Celebration of life, graveside service for Mr. Robert Paul Lastly will be Saturday at noon from Evergreen Cemetery in Sylacauga. Visitation is today from 1 until 7 at Grace Memorial Chapel Funeral Home in Sylacauga. Grace Memorial Funeral Home in Sylacauga in charge of the arrangements. Mr. Lashley was a graduate of, he attended East Highland High School, and then enlisted in the United States Army. He was stationed in Germany and served in Vietnam before being medically discharged under honorable conditions with the grade SP4. He served in the Army from June 1966 to December 1968. Grace Memorial Funeral Home, directing the service for Mr. Robert Paul Lastly of Sylacauga. Corzella Miles, age 73, died May the 20th, Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, announcing. Ethel Morris, age 88, arrangements to be announced by Anniston Funeral Service. Ms. Morris died May 21st. Celebration of life for Queen Gladdean Wilson-Castleberry, age 67, is Saturday at noon from Hall Grove Cemetery. Pastor Earl V. Moss officiating. Ms. Castleberry died Sunday, May 17th at Northeast Alabama Regional Medical Center in Anniston. Visitation today is from 4 until 6 at the funeral home. Sims Funeral Service, Talladega, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Leola R. Graham is 11 o'clock today at Wright's Funeral Home Chapel in Alexander City. Burial in the Alexander City Cemetery, Wright's Funeral Home, directing. Funeral service for Carl Wayne Williams, age 68, of Childersburg, is Saturday at 11 from Vincent Revival Center, with Brother Don Grays and Brother Danny Corson officiating. Burial in the Alabama National Cemetery in Montevallo. Mr. Williams died May 18th at his residence. Visitation is 5 till 8 today at Radley Smith Funeral Home. In lieu of flowers, you may make donation to the Williams family. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleysmith.com, Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Visitation for Mrs. Susan Campbell Green, age 79, is today noon until 2 o'clock at Radley Smith Funeral Home Chapel. Funeral service will follow at 2 in the chapel with the Reverend Charles Sims officiating. Burial in the Marble City Cemetery. In lieu of flowers, the family request donation be made to the Marble City Cemetery Perpetual Care Fund, P.O. Box 2362, Sylacauga 35150. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga, directing. Memorial service for Michelle Gibbs Mizzell, age 36, of Sylacauga, will be Monday, May 25th at 11 a.m. from the chapel at Radley Smith Funeral Home. Ms. Mizzell died May 17th at her residence. Visitation Monday, 10 until 11 at the funeral home, and Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. And graveside service for Corneisha Burton, age 28, is noon today at Mount Zion CME Church in the cemetery there. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361 for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.